You hungry? Let's take a trip. What's up, my locals? It's your girl Local from The Local Tourist, and today, because the weather is nice and cool outside, I'm going to show you guys how to make something quick and delicious that you can take to any kind of party or anything. It's my super special pumpkin spice cinnamon toast treats. So here I have a stick of butter, and I'm going to melt it down until it gets nice and buttery and melted and delicious. In this bowl over here, I have a family-sized box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Y'all, it came with a toy. I don't know where the toy went, but I was excited. The other ingredients that you're gonna need is a little bit of salt. You're gonna need some pure vanilla extract, some ground allspice, some 100% pumpkin puree, marshmallows, and I like to finish mine off with some Ghirardelli white chocolate. I'll show y'all how I do that once we get to that step. So, while we're melting this down, we're gonna go ahead and get it nice and bubbly. And to this, we're going to add our pumpkin puree, as well as a little bit of salt, and then let that melt down a little bit. So let's get this nice and melted. Almost there, almost there. Perfect. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my can of pumpkin puree. And if you don't like things like super pumpkin-y, you don't have to use the whole can. I want you to really be able to taste the pumpkin, since it is fall and we're all loving pumpkin spice right now. So I want you to really be able to taste that. So we're gonna go ahead and incorporate that in. And we're gonna cook this down until it gets nice and bubbly. Okay, so I went ahead and incorporated that first stick of butter in with my pumpkin. Once I took that and then incorporated, I took about a third of it out. We're gonna mix that in once we melt down our marshmallows. So we're gonna set that to the side. And in here, I went ahead and add another stick of butter. And we're gonna melt that down. While it's melting, I'm gonna go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of allspice, as well as an eighth of a teaspoon of salt. And that's just to offset the sweet, balance it out. So we're gonna melt that down, incorporate it. We're also gonna go ahead and go in with about a tablespoon of vanilla. A teaspoon. I don't know why I be struggling with my measurements when I'm talking to people. When I do it by myself, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons. I'll be fine. Perfect. You see it's getting nice and bubbly. We're going to mix that in. Perfect. And now we're gonna start adding our marshmallows in increments. So I'm gonna go ahead and I got mini marshmallows to incorporate once we get our fluff done. And then I also got big marshmallows to create the sauce, if you will, for our treats. So we're gonna go ahead and add these marshmallows in, and I'm just gonna stir this nice and slow and let it cook down until it's nice and melted. This is probably gonna take a while, but be patient because you don't want to burn your pumpkin or your marshmallows. Burnt marshmallows are no bueno. So it's gonna feel like it's not gonna melt, but I promise you it will. Just take your time. So as you can see, my marshmallows are cooking down. I've told you it will melt down. Just take your time. Once you get to about this point where the marshmallows has reduced by half, you can go ahead and add more marshmallows in. We're gonna use a bag and half of the normal size marshmallows. All right, now that we have everything incorporated and well covered, I'm gonna go ahead and take 2 big handfuls of mini marshmallows. And that's just gonna add a little bit more texture to our crispy. So that's about half of a bag. If you can see how big the bag was, took about half of it. And we're gonna incorporate those. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and use my hands. If you're not used to hot, don't do this because it will hurt, but I'm used to it, so. We're just gonna incorporate this nice and even. And while it's still really hot, we're gonna...
It was at this moment that she knew. She
And this is why we love cooking, because this is definitely a fail. So I can tell by the texture that there's too much pumpkin in it and not enough marshmallow. So what I'm going to do is probably trash this. It tastes good. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it tastes good, but because of the pumpkin puree, it kind of caused the cereal to get like soggy. So I would say literally cut the puree by literally half, maybe even thirds, and then do the same process. So I'm gonna try it again. If I upload this video, it's because I love y'all. But we'll see. They look really pretty and they taste really good, but there's just not enough marshmallow in them. So yeah, if you try this, let me know how it turns out for you. Again, cut the pumpkin in thirds. Don't use half a can. Don't need like literally a third of a cup at most to the same amount of marshmallows, and then I think you'll still get the same outlook. Probably redo it because it wasn't that expensive, and I really want these to turn out good because I really think these will be really good. So yeah, I'm gonna try again, and then I'll probably add it to this. You see all the pumpkin in my hands? I'll probably add it to this so y'all can see that everything's not gonna always be perfect. That's a part of life. You try things that seem like a good idea, and then if it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board and try it again. So let's try it again. Don't stay a tourist. Become a local and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you spread the love by liking and sharing this video for more local tourist cravings.